let's call this thing to order. First item of business, any guests want to say anything?
Just
Yes, sir.
want to say that it's a pleasure again to be here with you at EP number 1. Of course, you're one of two of our biggest constituents. We always love to be around you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for inviting us to your meeting.
You bet. Thank you. You bet. Thank you. Was that a no, Robert?
No, good job. Keep up the good work.
No? All right. Let's go to the minutes. Is Miguel here? No. We do have a quorum, don't we? Yeah, okay. Johnny is not on Zoom, or is he?
No.
Renee, hello, are you on, Renee?
Renee's there, but he's not going to talk to us.
I'm here.
Okay,
Sorry.
good enough. No, that's good. Just wanted to make sure. All right, approval of the minutes. Item 3 in your agenda. Hope y'all had time to look at it all.
Very well done, Claudia.
Aaron George, no
person.
Okay. All right, no corrections. I'll entertain a motion that the minutes be approved as mailed. Somebody? All right, Larry made the motion. George seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lisa, anything?
Not today, sir. Thank you.
Okay, you got it. All right, Mary. And remember, get close to that mic.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Our first report is the monthly investment. We do have a treasury bill that matures next week
Okay.
on September 22nd. We did have a partial withdrawal that had to be placed and has been deposited as of yesterday. As you will notice on the money market account, we have moved some funds over to the general fund as well.
Okay. On that, the 22nd maturity date, and the plan is?
At this time, it will stay in the general fund
Okay.
until we receive more funds through our tax assessment.
In other words, that entire 2 million will probably come into the general fund?
Yes,
Okay, for the time being.
correct.
Okay, once we see where we're going, okay. George, got any questions?
What's the one that's maturing on the 22nd? What are you thinking it's gonna end up with? 1.63, go higher, right?
Well, we are leaving those funds in the general fund. We will not be
Because that-
reinvesting at this time.
And that's stuck at 1.25, right?
No, it will mature and automatically be deposited into our general fund.
Yeah, it's that top one on your list.
Yeah.
We're taking
Yeah,
it
that
out.
one, and
We're
we're putting it
taking
on
it out.
this 1.2 spot right here.
Yeah, we're gonna use the general fund temporarily. That means,
Yeah.
not sure we're ready to reinvest it. It's coming off of 163, it looks like.
Right.
Okay. Okey-doke. We looking at balance sheets now, Mary?
Yes, the balance sheet. And we have received several of our invoicing payments at this moment. As of August 31st, we had a balance of $120,000. We have received several payments this month
Okay.
that were applied to the outstanding invoices.
Okay.
If there aren't any questions on the balance sheet, our next report is the net revenue.
I have one little question. On your net revenue, you title that report net revenue? It's just in the title, I think. Is there any problem with saying and expenses on it? Because we do cover expenses too.
I can go ahead and make that
Just
adjustment.
add and expenses. Because I keep reading that net revenue and I look at, anyway.
Well, that's the net part. You have to have expenses to get net, right?
Well, yeah, net revenue and expenses, no? Okay,
Okay, we'll add it.
I don't care, it's superfluous, it just, to me, it seems like it.
It's, yeah, revenue minus expenses.
Minus
Yeah.
expenses, correct. We have surpassed by 50% our revenue for this year. We are under budget on our expenses, we're at 79%. We do have 2 months remaining on the fiscal, and we'll end our fiscal up to October 31st. And next month, we will be bringing to you our proposed budget for 2023-2024, along with the budget amendment for this year as well.
Okay. Gentlemen, you got any other notes you want to ask about? I'll leave. Harry, you're not free.
We'll move on to the 500 check report.
Got a question on number 13. I guess that would be for Pete. 2 boxes of welding rod, they're about $200 a 50-pound box can. What do you get in there? What kind? Or is that you?
Yes, that'd probably be the all-purpose rod,
That comes out to,
about $225 or no, actually $275.
are they? Oh,
Yes.
okay. Just checking, because I bought some, they were like 175, 180.
And these are
Online though,
Oh,
so.
Hey, on number 16, Pete, how did that deal come out with the generic Roundup? What did you see or what?
At Cornerstone, it works. The only thing it's having, it takes too long to actually get a kill.
Uh-huh.
It's, we're actually having to raise the percentage on it. We're right now spraying at about a 3%. It's taking approximately about 5 to 6 days to show some type of effect on it. Now, if I go any higher than that, then it's really not gonna be feasible to continue using it because I'm having to add surfactant to it. It's, that Cornerstone's about half price of what the Power Max.
Power Max is,
Yeah, it's about half price. But if I'm having to use 5% on it, and I'm only using the 2% on Power Max,
yeah.
it kind of defeats the purpose. But we're still trying, we're still using it, we're still trying it in different areas, we're moving the percentage up and down on it.
Yeah, because I did all that, and there's one time I sprayed, I don't know if you gone through that, or you spray it, it looks like you put fertilizer on it.
Yes.
It's a growth hormone.
Either that or the tips,
Yeah,
the tips will start hanging,
yeah.
but it won't kill all the way down to the root
Yeah,
system.
exactly. And then the next time you go down, it's even worse.
Yes.
Well, let me ask, you said you were saying increase to 3%. Were you still using the Roundup at 2%?
Yes, yeah, we'll use the Roundup at 2%. The only time we bring up the Roundup at 3% is like when it's either real heavy or they're anticipating on putting water, let's say for example, 5 days later, because at a 3%, we'll start seeing a kill at about 3 days.
Okay, and you're saying the Cornerstone just a lot slower?
A lot
If-
slower.
if it were.
Yes. Yeah, so it hasn't really killed or hasn't got down to the root system
Yeah.
before they put water in there, so. it's defeating
Well, I'm
the
just
purpose.
curious, because I went on Cornerstone, I'm talking about a long time ago, 5, 6 years ago or so, and it seemed to work pretty good, and I'm having the same effect you guys are saying now. So we're all back to
There's a lot of.
Roundup Max.
So we,
What happened?
well, it's just the chemical by nature, it reacts differently under different circumstances. So if it's well water and fertilized and you put it on, a smaller amount will kill it faster because it is a growth
Right.
hormone, so So we used to, for example, when I kill my alfalfa fields, I always water them first and
Yeah,
fertilize
that is-
them, and then I hit it with the
that
stuff, and
is-
it would
that
kill
kills
low
them.
percentages.
Yeah.
And the days to kill, they depend on that. In other words, if you got an actively growing plant, it'll kill it a lot faster than one that's dormant.
So, yeah, the plant's wet.
Yeah, if it's green and growing, it'll
Well,
die.
sometimes I had good effect if I sprayed it in front of it and then put the water on it right behind
You
it.
could do the same thing, whatever you,
Yeah.
you just gotta get it where it wants to
Time
grow.
right.
And what time you apply?
If it's a stress plant,
Right.
it doesn't work.
If it's not growing, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Hit it all day.
Yeah.
You hit it in the winter when it's this, when it's dry, it's wasting, it's throwing it away. But anyways, we always put ammonium sulfate with it, try to get it
To work faster.
to, I haven't ever thought about whether that without, it would actually make it grow faster, but I guess it has to at first, right? Until it kicks in, right?
Number 21 is for Pete also. Are we required to have these new signs, or are they just replacing old ones, or what?
Yeah, we're replacing some of the old ones,
Uh,
Mr. Brooks, these are the signs that we have to put for whenever we're working up, either by state highways or any kind of construction. It's basically trucks crossing or men working signs.
Yeah, they're those ones with the springs on it.
Yes.
And all that stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know if it was a new requirement that was imposed on us.
No, we've been using them all along, but, they're kind of beat up with the old ones are.
Item 64, Pete gets to explain a lot of stuff here. Was that mismarked and it's supposed to be 2 backhoes?
They cut up tightly.
No, that's just one.
Hell of a backhoe.
Holy. Does that backhoe, it does everything, huh? It rings the doorbell when you want to.
No, they've just gone up in price.
Wow, okay.
It extends.
That wasn't with a mower on it or
No.
something? No.
It's got the thumb on it.
Well, I'm scared to death, 'cause they've been quoting me prices for some of my kind of equipment, it just frightened me.
On 41, Pete,
No, that's a different one.
that's on the John Deere tractor, right? You were one,
I went with it.
the deaf.
Take care of it.
Yes, that's on the, one of the mowers.
Uh-huh.
Broke?
It's the header assembly. In other words, it's the whole depth unit.
Oh, did we hit it or?
No, it's
it wasn't under warranty?
No. No, it had already expired. These mowers are about, I think, 3 years old.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, the warranty had expired already on it.
And then the problems are gonna start, let me guarantee you.
That's the problem with the depth.
Yeah,
Depth always causes problems.
that's a big problem.
Back on that thing from Faven's Oil, remember we had dyed and clear, we talked about that. What are we using the clear for? Are there some of our pickups that are diesel or what?
Yes. And the dump trucks?
Oh, the dump trucks?
Yes.
We couldn't get them to,
You know, I called the state up there in Austin. They never really were able to give me a straight answer. But we have gotten pulled over by the state troopers on Texas 20, and they do check to make sure that we're not running the red,
No, you
the
can't.
dyed diesel on
You
it.
can't run red diesel on
yeah, I know,
trucks.
I know, but.
Even if they got farm tags, even if they got whatever, you just can't.
Yeah,
I've gone-
Our backhoes and everything else is running dyed.
yeah.
You never can, no. If it's on a public road, you gotta get it. You just can't.
The difference is,
I tell you through personal experience.
I mean, the only ones I've got away with is on my wheel wagons.
Yeah, your bell
They don't really look like a truck.
They don't look like a truck, yeah.
But that's about it.
Anything else? Larry?
No, I'm okay, that's it.
All right, Mary, back to you.
Following report is our credit card expense report for August.
Okay. Lisa and Mary are both professionally developing.
Yeah. Is that the same conference, or
Yes.
Yes.
where was it at?
It's our short conference before next year.
Where was it?
Next year is Chicago. This is next year's.
Oh, for next year. Oh,
Yes, we receive a discount if
you do it
you
early?
pay, yes.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, Mike?
I'm here,
Okay,
made it.
good.
Morning.
We got that.
Tab 5, yeah, we're almost done. Oh,
The cheap stuff.
Tab 5 is our legal and consulting fees.
Is, Phil Bowman still working for us? Is he all right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, but he wasn't able to attend today.
He's, okay.
Okay,
Going, just, on real estate, is there a lot of, many real estate through your licensing and so forth, where we run it through our real estate attorney?
Everyone.
Everyone?
Yes.
Oh, so he's active?
Yes, we
Even
go over
though he
the,
might not be here, he's active?
We go over the agenda
Okay.
before, yes.
Perfect.
The final item is our engagement letter from Peñas and Briones. It's our engagement letter that needs approval in order to proceed for our audit for the end of the year, fiscal year 2023, 2022 to 2023.
all right. Was there an amount mentioned in there?
The proposed rate is between $35,000 to $40,000.
So they don't give it to us?
I do have their specific rates that were sent out.
How
The
do they differ?
staffing rate,
Are they consistent with the past? I mean, pretty much it's a past thing, or is there major changes?
no, this is our third year now that they will be assessing our audit, and it's been consistent.
Okay.
They do bill us on a monthly basis, so we know where we're at. The staffing fee is $100 per hour. Their senior in charge is $115. Their managers, $130, and a partner fee is $180 per hour.
That sounds reasonable. I move to approve.
All right, motion to approve the engagement letter to, for our auditors, Peña, Briones, McDaniel and Company. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Larry seconds. That was Miguel that made the motion, second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, same sign. Okey dokey.
Thank you.
I think that was pretty easy, Mary. Now we got rows, so we're
No,
just,
we're in trouble.
we're now, now we're ready.
Pretty much afterburners now.
We missed you last time.
She has some family health issues inside her family.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
We have no tax adjustments.
Well, you have to stand close to you, Rose.
How about this?
Yeah,
Okay. No tax adjustments.
that was amazing. No tax.
Good easy. Our next report is the City of El Paso on behalf of Public Service Board assignments, Solar Valley Water District assignments, and taxes. This is just for informational purposes. There has been no activity for the month of August. By understanding the Lower Valley, they're going to be sending us maybe about 206, probably at the end of the month, if not next month.
Lower Valley?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Do you have any questions on this report?
No, ma'am?
Our next report is a comparison between the 2022 and 2021 tax assessment. September of 2023 was 97.5246. This same time last year, we were at 97.33. So we're ahead in collection. But I do want to point out, if you look at the 2021 tax assessment in November, we were at 97.44. We already exceeded what we collected last year.
Hey, honey, showed you what seeing water in the canals would do.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
That's the
Very
reason.
true. Yes, sir. And that's all I have.
Very good.
Thank you.
That's pretty much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Russ.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Russ. As good as always. All right, next item, we got Jay, but Jay, you got anything?
Well, I have nothing, everything is going well, gentlemen. No complaints and all, everything is running smoothly. Got any questions, more happy to answer.
More news is good news?
Very good. All right, now,
I have a presentation, I'll show you in a second.
okay.
It is.
Sure.
So you saw this is just an updated graph from last month. It's the forecast, right here where all these little dots in, and it becomes straight lines, those are forecasted. Just remind you that big hump towards November, December's the, Robert's not here, that's the additional water they kept in Abiquiu that they're gonna send down to us as the delivery for into the compact. Yeah, starting November, well, it shows it in November and December.
How much did they got, we're supposed to get?
About 116,000.
116,000 acre feet.
So that'll come in after the end of the allocation. That allocation ends with the fiscal, October 31st. So that'll be allocated under next year's. Only update that's different from last month is that there's been more production on inflow into the reservoir. It's hard for me to determine right now whether that's compact credit water or not, or just an additional compact delivery, but it's, the flow's a little high. I know there's been rain up north too, so it should be runoff. So that's good. If it continues at that, it's actually amounts to about another 30,000 acre feet this year. And that stuff will get allocated on the 31st.
So, wait a minute, was that, now that overall projection, and you were showing that we may be up to 900,000?
That's the total amount of the title of Elephant
At-
Reservoir inflow.
At January 1 or something?
Yeah, January 1, the total, I predicted 915 was the stuff we predicted back in May, when we looked at, when we had the full snowpack to look at. And so we're coming in a little bit higher. That's an extra 30 that I just talked about.
Okay,
Coming in at 950. Still is just a projection.
it's still just projected, yeah.
What's the key on the bottom, the third one?
What, excuse me?
The key on the bottom, the third one, I can't read that. The
It says inflow is actually wrong. It's, I don't know, that's what I've been working, trying to get it why it's cutting off the screen, but it's,
what does it say though?
I think it says
Moving
inflow
average.
per moving average. That's this black line.
Yeah.
So that's a 7-day moving average.
Oh, 7 days, oh.
The data from the reservoir, you can see it jumps around.
Mhm.
And so just because of the way it's measured, wind can affect it and other things. And so it's not accurate on a daily measurement. You have to average it over about a week. So that's the black line.
Okay.
So the blue line is how much water has come in?
That's the cumulative.
Cumulative, into
It just
the.
keeps adding up. Black line's instantaneous, how much happening right now. So you go down here and it's about 600 acre feet a day is coming in right now. And then they'll bump that up when they transfer the water to over 2,000.
Abiquiu releasing when? Is that the?
The law, the Abiquiu, public law says they can't start release till November 1st.
Okay.
It doesn't say how fast or anything, it just says it starts on November 1st. I think they may move it down faster than that, but I don't know. We had a meeting on that, so I'm using the numbers they gave us up. The Corps of Engineers to that, it's a flood storage is what happened. It was because it got stored because they had released it, it would have caused damage due to flooding. So you put all this stuff in the table, didn't change anything from last month. A little bit more, less water release. We're actually, we were about 600,000 target, and expect Robert to come in and validate all this stuff, we're talking about what he's doing, because he's in charge.
He's with, constituent that walked in, he's having a conversation.
So, but right now, based on what he's doing today, assuming that continues, he's at a little bit high today because of some demand, but he's gonna go down, and that we run it out. He's telling me, yeah, it's almost everybody watered out, and the rains probably had something to do with that. We'll release 565 this year. So that'll leave 330 in the reservoir at the end of this year, which is great, right? That's the highest we've been in a long time. Right. And then we got this, my estimated inflow with that 116 or whatever, plus other
Plus
stuff.
that one, yeah.
Plus other stuff. March is gonna be 210. And then, so that if we make an allocation on March 15th, I don't see any problem with making a full allocation at this time. We won't be able to do it until we have the water in the reservoir. But all indication, Robert agrees with me that, and 300,000 tends to be, yeah, I'm just, well, I'm almost done.
Robert, he's almost done.
I had a question, it was a segue,
What are you doing?
I know, well, you interrupted, I was all ready for it.
Bad morning.
Morning.
It's a bad morning.
No, you can take off the flak jacket. You left the helmet somewhere.
I was gonna say, Robert, where all indications are, we're still at 300,000 plus and on March 15th of next year. And that's a number that includes effluent and well water, but that gets us gets us right to the 4-foot allocation, right?
Right.
So,
For next year.
for next year. So that's good.
Oh, that's great. It really is.
So that's for that section. I've got I finished up for the next, not for this right now, it's Robert's up next, but I'll continue with this presentation in a few minutes on the fees, on the Franklin Canal project.
You got it. See, with that segue, Robert.
It's all yours. Good
news.
news. Good news, Robert.
It's your turn.
Let me recover. Jesus Christ.
It was 7 in the morning.
It was,
Never stopped.
This is the third Monday in a row, right?
Well, welcome. Okay. Of course, we got a little bit of rain last night, and first time, I guess, this year, the Royals are in a little bit of Leesburg and Hatch, because they had a pretty good storm.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, it helps a little bit. It just seems like we've been struggling with the Rio Grande here for the past week or so, because if you all don't know, they're bringing down Caballo down to minimum flow, but they're gonna bring it down to, what, about 5 now?
they're gonna add draining. Well, they can't get it below 5, but we don't, 5's not.
Yeah.
It's dry at 5, effectively dry at 5.
So,
I think I saw 17 or something over the weekend, right?
It's 12 today.
Well,
so it caught us unexpected that, like last week, last Tuesday, we released water for the farm, the small track, and then Friday rolled around, and guess what? The water didn't show up. Well, they're losing 30 to 40 feet to the release because the dam is going down every day. So once we realized that, we have to almost change the gate opening every day, or we're losing water. And we finally get it to the point that we need it, and then we got the arroyos when we don't need them. But it just, the acres just caught us by unexpected this week. It just, a lot of acres came in, and then a lot of the cotton ground, C and all, and then and then they finally decided to get C.
yeah.
So it caught us, but we finally caught up with it, with the water, and now we're doing real good. The extra water came in last night, and it's looking good now. I think we're getting to a point of really starting to, cut it back, because I think for next week, we're only looking, compared like 1,000 acres, it's almost gonna be like a return flow from here on out. It's gonna be, I think, real slow.
Pecans will need one more,
Una más.
but cotton should be over when you get.
I think the last one that we got is Casey. He just started yesterday, and he'll go through his whole farm.
What I mean is with this push, that should be over.
And that should be it, but
That should be on that, and like the real grant, we've been struggling on it, but I think, yeah, I think we got through with the last push on the cotton and the pecans, and I think from here on out, should be more controllable. We'll have the small tracks every weekend from here, we still got 4 more to go. But I also wanted to let you guys know something about EPCWID, you know, they've helped us a lot, like since we cut off, they made available to us the one water master that's usually on there 24/7, and they got ditch riders that are helped us wash the west side, the east side for us, that we don't have to patrol it. We do go up there and check the canal, but they pretty well have everything open. But a good example, Tuesday night they had a power failure up there on the Mesilla Dam, and one of the boards to the computer burned out on the Mesilla, and they stayed up there till about 9 o'clock at night to make sure that we weren't going to be affected with the water. So, you know, they've been very helpful. James and his crews are out there giving us a hand pretty good. And, you know, really, they don't really have to be out there because it's our water, we're patrolling it, but they've been very good about adjusting the headings and for us and keeping us abreast. Like this week, we got through on the La Union West because they were delivering small tracts and farms for us. They got through Tuesday morning, and we cut that water off there. We put it on the east side for the Anthony Pecan and Shannon Singh, which is down here on the other side. So, you know, they've been real great helping us out. It's kind of fair that the board knows that, you know, EPCWID, they really don't have to, but they've been helping us. They've always helped us every year, but this year they took care of Mesilla Dam pretty good.
Is Ed Slinger back?
Yes.
Temporarily, or he's the one, yeah? Okay,
He's temporary, they got another manager there that he's training.
he's training, okay.
You ever,
Yeah.
legal like that, just train, you know. And then this year, the acres wise, we're doing pretty good. Delivery wise, last year we delivered like 250,000 at this time, and this year we're at 310. The deliveries are up from, last year we're at 6,700, this year we're at 85, and we delivered about, I want to say about 40,000 more acre feet this year than last year. So they're going pretty good, and I think from here on out they're going to slow down. Like you said, they only got pecans left, and I think what I hear a lot is they put a lot of Sudan, and I think that, and there's a lot of new hay going in.
Yeah.
They're projecting, they heard Al talking about early water next year.
The spring hay.
Yeah, so there's a lot of new hay coming in, and they've been calling in, and they're like in the cutoff date that we're gonna be giving them, you know, October the 27th, so we're giving them plenty of chance to plant their hay and stuff like that.
And get one more Sudan. Who's buying the Sudan? Is that for Terry's? Who's buying it?
Everybody's buying it right now, they can't find hay.
But who's buying it? Where's he going? Out of this area?
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it's never sold.
So Sudan doesn't have much,
Protein.
yeah, not a lot of feed value.
I don't know if you read it, but they're selling those bells for $10. They're selling them almost like alfalfa. To feed the goats, they're not picky whether you give them.
Well, that's true. But I haven't seen that many goats. I'm just curious what happened to the Sudan.
But they're planting out Sudan. One of the biggest one is Mr. Hilly's planting quite a few Sudan. He planted everything on 7A and then on 8.
Down at
For the high school? Yeah, for the high school, yeah.
Well, there's a lot even in Husband.
Yeah, so there's, and I think a lot of it is they're just, I don't know what they're gonna cut it and they're gonna plow it under for next year. For
Sure,
cotton.
for a green manure crop, but they gotta be making some money as much as they're somewhere. I just couldn't figure out where they were doing it.
I think in farming.
They were farming.
In farming right now,
can't make
anything they plant, they make pretty good money, or they wouldn't be doing
Except
it.
pecans.
Well,
What happened?
you know what they say about pecans, you gotta be nuts to plant them.
There you go.
I remember Mr. Conway used to say that to me.
Yeah,
When he was one of the first farmers that started planting trees.
yeah.
He said, well, Robert, you know, you gotta be kind of nuts to plant these. And I always remember that, when he used to say, you gotta be pretty nasty, pesky, okay? And then he went out there and put those probes out there, for irrigation, Texas A&M put them out there. And one morning I was driving by, they was pulling them out, what are you doing? I don't believe in these suckers. They don't tell me when to water, I'll tell them when to water. But that was the old farmers, you know.
That was.
You couldn't tell them when to water, and then, well, I'm not gonna go into
No.
the history.
Except to say he ran his son off, you know,
It's like
but Jim planted that grapevine.
It's a chocolate.
Yeah, the winery?
And then he only lasted a while, and he took off to somewhere around Seattle, I think.
Well, I see him once in a while, I haven't seen him in a while, but
He comes back into town every once in a while. He gives me a call every once in a while.
well, again, I don't
But
know.
his daddy was, yeah, his daddy.
He was there into palm reading there one time, remember?
Yeah.
You read your palm?
No, he didn't do that.
But he was reading palm, he tried to grab my hand, let me read your palm. No, Robert, I better not read
You
yours.
about Jim or the daddy?
Jim.
I'll be there.
Jim,
I think
right.
your time's up, Robert.
That was just the
Thank you.
intimidating.
He grabbed my hand and said, oh, I better not read yours. Okay, fine with me, but anyway, that's about it for me.
Okay.
All right. Thanks,
So much for the
We
history.
proved him wrong.
Great job. When's our date, last date to order?
The sixth.
Six.
You know, Larry, like I tell a lot of the farmers, especially the 8 and 9 guys, the unit 8 and 9, and don't worry too much about you because we still got return flow to the 27th. The ones I'm more worried about is the unit 6 and the unit 7 because if you don't put in by the 6 to let us know you want water, we cut the dam off and there's no mañana. Those are the ones that really get ready. And we're gonna go into late in the season of October, and I got a feeling by October the 6th, Larry, unit 7 and unit 7 and 6 are not gonna have many acres left over. The pecans, I think, are gonna be over, aren't they, Art, about this?
The last irrigation on pecans will be in, or around that first week of October.
If the heat doesn't stay on.
Well, here the heat does by October 10th, we should be done.
So,
I would think. You know, the upper valley, Mesilla Valley, that's historically what it does. The Mesilla Valley thinks you have to water them all the way to November 1, and they do, but they got those wells.
yeah,
Down here, we have always said somewhere around October 1. If you're full wet around October 1, you're probably pretty good. So I'm saying 10 days after that for some people because of the timing, you know.
and when cutting off, it makes it hard, especially in 7 and 6, because they try to drag you to the very last day, and
Oh, yeah.
you know, and I said, guys, don't wait till the last day, because we don't know what's gonna happen, we're not gonna stay open for 10 acres.
Yeah.
If it's only 10 acres, you better pick it up, because we're gonna say bye-bye to you pretty fast.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think we're good on all that. Contact.
And it's amazing to be able to, you know, back in February, we weren't even thinking of going to September, and here we are, we're still gonna be in October, which is great.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
But that's
You
it.
did good, 4 foot,
Next year.
8 foot.
No. Bigfoot?
No more coffee, Robert.
No.
No more coffee today.
All right, go ahead, Pete.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, let me start off with, we're still trying to play a little catch up with these weeds here with this small rain that we've been getting. It's been really kicking our butt, but, we're catching up. Right now, pretty much what we're doing is we're trying to stay ahead of Robert. He kinda lets me know where he's gonna be putting water in, and those are the canals we're trying to hit. So, we're still playing a little catch up. Also, on the ponds, we've been putting some water into it. Unfortunately, we can't put, I guess, a good amount in there, because Robert's only putting in whatever he has available. Unfortunately, we've been losing it all, either evaporation or seepage or something else, so very minimal there, so.
It hasn't held it at all?
It hasn't held it, no. I mean, it'll hold it for a couple of days, but, it's losing it pretty quick. We lose it faster than we're putting it in.
We haven't done it, the studies on it doesn't start, so right now we're
Right.
just trying to wet up. Dirt underneath it.
Right, right.
It takes a while.
Yeah, and then we'll put water in there for couple of hours, we'll have to pull it out, so we're not putting up what I'm gonna say a significant water to really see
See, but,
what it's doing, yes.
yeah, we're not ready to run the test, so.
But I'll start off here with a couple of the drains within the city of El Paso. And I'll go through it pretty quick, that won't take up too much of your time. And show you
Is it working?
I turned it on.
Did you turn it on?
Yeah.
Maybe I pushed it on.
There you go.
You ready now, or?
I'm not touching.
Oh, okay. You sure?
I put my hands up.
Okay, so here, just
I can do it for you if you want me to.
a couple of before and after pictures. You know, one thing that I've come to realize that in the past years, people didn't want us to touch these drains, especially the farmers. They didn't want us touching these drains. Now I get so many calls on these drains where they want them nice and clean, and believe it or not, that's how they say that the world turns. But these are all inside the city limits. These are all up on the west side. This is just right between Artcraft and Montoya Drive. This is the drain right behind the Indian housing here on Vineyard Road. Here we'll be installing the crossing for the Tiguas. Also, they'll be paying for the project.
Yeah, farm crossing.
Farm crossing, yes.
Right.
And then here we're talking about the Tornillo drain down in the Fayetteville area. These are drains outside the city limits. And these have really gotten away from us, so it's taken a lot of work, a lot of time to get it done. But the water table has creeped up on us, so we're trying to get that water table down. We're having a significant amount of beaver dams. And of course, we go in with the excavator once we mow it.
Really?
Then, of course, the washouts from farmlands, those never end. Here's just a couple of the ones we've done this past month. That's the Franklin drain. Here's another one. And here's another one also on Franklin drain. And we're also concentrating on raising banks. You know, here it's the Tornillo Canal. We raised the banks on check 13, check 14, and check 15. We're hoping to do some major digging on these canals once water's out of the system. Then also some cleanup. These are a couple of complaints. This is some property that we own that has gotten a little overgrown with trees and debris. Constituents started complaining, so we had to go in there and clean up the area. And then of course our turnout crew, truck drivers.
Wow.
It saved his life.
Right, probably did. Yeah. Wrecked his car.
And then, of course, a couple of fluids that we've had to also replace. This is over here by Nuevo Tanks Road. There we just have to replace one section of the pipe. The rest of the pipe was fairly new. So we went in to replace that piece and put a couple of cement collars. It's looking ready. This here is a crossing that we installed for Texas Gas and Lower Valley Water District. They wanted to relocate a gas line and a water line. So they did fund the removal of the old culvert and the installation of a new one. So this is just placed right upstream from Tanton Road. And that's the way it looks as of today. We're waiting on Texas Gas to go in there and install their gas line, and then Lower Valley Water District to install their water line, so we can go in and finish it up. We still gotta go in there and install just the big gate also. And pretty much other than our daily maintenance, that's all I got for you guys.
Very good, Pete. What's this line I see go along here on the old highway?
It's a high pressure, it's a Texas gas.
Is it Texas,
So
is
right
that part of
now,
Texas Gas?
there's a 4-inch that feeds all the pavements, and they're upgrading to an 8-inch. That's the sole line that feeds pavement. So they're upgrading it to 8-inch high pressure.
Not Lower Valley. Wasn't Lower Valley gonna run a line down here?
It's on the opposite side. Lower Valley has a 12-inch water line on,
On the other side, but it doesn't go all the way to Fayetteville, right?
no, it stops at the field.
Were they gonna make a loop around Socorro Road or?
Pavements, didn't let them. Thank you, Pete. Great job.
guys, no questions?
Thanks, Pete.
Complaints?
Pavements, water.
Yeah,
Because
one slide,
that's the jurisdiction.
one slide.
Pavements, water, let them make that loop around the old border patrol. They've been